That's the coffee ready. Morning. Or whatever time it is where you are. It's not really morning here either. It's it's past noon, but hey, for some people that's morning. That happens to be me right now. All right, so I just wanted to go in just a quick short stream to talk about crafting and loot in Vermintide 2. So, when do you craft and when do you loot?
Nice weather.
This is more for new players, if you don't know what to do with your loot boxes and how to craft and all that stuff. So I'll just do a brief, quick tutorial and explanation about this. When you get a loot crate, you will open them, and you'll get 3 items. So, this is a deed. Alright, we'll open another one. As you level up, as you're running missions, you will gain more and more of these chests, and you'll start getting loot. So here's the thing. We have, let's see. Oh, I'll just go this one. So where was the white? There. Okay. So loot is in gray, green, blue, orange, and red. Now what that means is that a white item has no properties. If you can see on the red item that I already have equipped, it has 2 properties. The 30% stamina recovery and the 33% curse resistance. Gray items only have power. If you look at a green item, they'll have 1 property. Blue items have 2 properties. Orange items have 2 properties and a trait. In this case, on the Huntsman's Spear, it's parry. Red items have 2 properties and a trait, but they are, however, always rolled maximum. So if you look at this, for example, this has 18% block cost reduction. 18% is not max. 30 is max. So whenever you re-roll a red item, it will always get you the maximum possible properties. But we'll get back to that. So as you're leveling up, you're opening loot boxes, you're equipping new items. What you should be doing is just equipping the highest possible power. Because power, if you look at this one up here, hero power output, the effects is the actual damage dealt, the number of enemies penetrated by attacks, and stacker level. So the number of enemies penetrated by attacks is also called cleave. It's how many enemies you can hit in one swing. Stagger level means how big or how tough of an enemy can you interrupt and basically stop in their tracks, stun them, so to speak. Certain weapons have more cleave, certain weapons have more stacker. Some are more meant for single target, and some are crowd control. Most weapons have a description. For example, this one, it'll say in the green, it says headshot damage, wide sweeps, high damage. So the executioner swords have very, very high headshot damage, and it does wide sweeps. What that means is if I go in, let's see, I'll just go on someone who can use all the weapons instead of. So if I go in and put an executioner sword, the normal swings are sweep, sweep, side to side. This makes it very easy to cleave through hordes. If you do a charged attack, it's right down the middle, so it's easy to do headshots, and it does massive damage. It really does massive damage, especially against armored. So if you look at some of the other ones, if we look at, let's say, the mace has fast attacks, wide sweeps, crowd control, also crowd control weapon. This has fast attacks, wide sweeps, powerful blocks. One-handed sword, fast attacks, wide sweep, versatile. Versatile means it can kind of do both. So it is, as you can see, the first is down on a diagonal, down, then there's a sweep, and then the third one is straight down. And it has pretty decent block as well, as you can see the stamina shields. So when you're looking at your equipment, if you go under crafting, now I have this different setup because I'm using a mod that changes the user interface. Normally you would have crafting or salvage item and you just click next on them and it just moves this one. So I can just easily pick them up here. So you salvage items by just slotting them in like that. When you salvage, you get scrap and you get these dusts. Then you get gem cutters tools. These are usually used for jewel crafting, whatever. That means all of your charms, trinkets, and necklaces. These weapon parts are used whenever you craft a weapon. So if I want to craft a weapon, you get all of these engrams or whatever you call them. These are blueprints, essentially. As you level up, you will automatically gain access to more blueprints. So if you want to craft any item, you can just click craft right here and you can see the question mark. It'll create anything from necklace, charm, mace, gun, anything. If you want to craft a specific item, you just slot that in. Now it'll craft this one. It costs one of these. As you can see, I play too long. And you just craft this weapon. I was lucky that it came up blue. However, the power is only 295. So for me, playing at max level, 295, I can't use that. I need 300. So I just take that out, put another one in, craft again. $298. Now, as you reach max crafting level, which is 300, you still have, whenever you craft or whenever you, okay, well, let's do this. Whenever you craft or whenever you open loot, what happens is it's going to go through each of the slots that you have for equipment. It's going to remember the highest equipment that you've ever looted or crafted for each individual slot. It's going to add them together, divide by the number of slots, take the average of that, and then it's going to roll randomly, either plus 10, up to plus 10, or down to minus 5 power levels. So whenever I'm creating something, if I'm crafting this one, right now, currently, I have 300, 300, 300, 300. So the average of this is 300. So the only thing that I get from this is it will either go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 levels, or it can go down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last two that I crafted, it went down. So I'll try and craft a third one. It can't go higher than 300. So this went down 4. Yeah, this is my RNG luck that we were talking about earlier. So 299, it's orange, that's rare, but it's 299. So again, there we go. There's a 300. So this one I can then use. It's blue. I want to make it. If I want to make it better, what I can do is I can upgrade the item. So I'll find the one that I need, the 300. I'll slot it in, and it'll cost some of this material. Now, if I upgrade it, it'll become orange. So it goes from gray to green to blue to orange. In the beginning, as you're leveling up, as you are, because every time you run a new map, you gain more levels. When you loot more items, the average item level or the hero power on the level on the weapon keeps going up. So as you're leveling up, you're not gonna keep the same equipment for very long. You're gonna replace it. So don't waste materials upgrading things. Just use whatever you get. The higher power on it, the better. If you get blues and greens, a rule of thumb I usually say is a trait on a weapon or item like this one, explosive ordnance, is worth about 15 power level difference. So if I had a lower, let's say power 200 orange, I could accept a 215 anything else because those 15 power levels makes up for the trait, and you'll get them eventually anyway. So as you're starting out, you're probably playing on recruit. On recruit, the highest obtainable hero power from any gear that you get from the loot boxes is 100. So there is no real need to go away from recruit, unless it gets too easy and boring. Then obviously go to veteran and so on. But veteran already gives you 300, which is the max. So I would probably say for fun, just start on recruit, and once you're comfortable, move to veteran, because veteran will give you it's not going to give you 300 as you're leveling, but it has the highest potential. So if you kept playing as you're leveling up over time, you're improving your crafting. So crafting and opening loot boxes go towards the same goal, increasing your hero power level that you have access to. So you can basically play on veteran until you reach maximum, or by then you should be going to champion, maybe even legend, depending on your skill and how much of a challenge you want. The only thing really where it matters is from recruit, you can only get 100. So if you are at a level, when you get to the point where your gear that you are wearing is higher than 100, there is no point when it comes to getting better gear to run recruit, because you can't get higher than 100. So you need to do at least veteran. Now, the red items are special, and they only drop from champion and up. Actually, you can't even get them from every loot chest on champion. It has to be general or empress. Those are the only ones that has a chance of dropping a red item. Otherwise, you need to go to legend. Legend, every single loot box can potentially drop a red item. Yeah, so basically recruit can maximum give you 100. Veteran and up can give you up to the maximum. So as you keep opening these loot boxes, just equip whatever highest you get and then salvage the rest. Everything else that you don't need, just salvage it, because you're not going to come back to it. And then use that, because those materials that you get from scrap. So let's say that I leveled up, I got a loot box, and I got let's say that I got the one-handed sword, but I don't particularly like the one-handed sword. I want a two-handed sword, but that's not what I got from the loot box. So what I can do then is I can go in and I can use the materials that I got from salvaging all the other stuff, and I can then just choose and say, all right, I want the executioner sword, or let's say I wanted the greatsword, two-handed sword, and I'll just craft my own. And while you craft and while you are that's the worst possible one I could get. Thank you. Anyway, while you're crafting, if you're not at max as I am, you will gradually go up all the time. When looting, when crafting, it just goes up. So once you either reach level 25 on a character, or you get 300 crafting, you then gain access to the possibility of getting red items. You can't randomly craft a red item. That's not a thing. They did, however, implement that you can get red items from the commendation chests. It is insanely rare, but you can. So let's see. Yeah. I'm not gonna get a red, and if I am, that will be insane. Just open a couple of them, just to show that these are just this is just random for whatever class you're opening them on. So that's another thing. You can run, let's say that I run a map on Kruber and I get a loot box. I can then switch over to another character and open the box with them. And then whatever loot is in it is going to be for that character, whoever opens it. Alright? Oh, another thing. When you're level 1 and you're opening these boxes, it doesn't matter how high the tier is of the box. If it's a generals, if it's a peasants, if it's an emperor, doesn't matter. If you're level 1, you can only get gray items. As you level up, I think it's at level 3 you can get green, 5 you can get blue, maybe 7 you can start, or 12 you can get orange. I'm not exactly sure when that switches, but once you have a character that that can get orange items, if you don't need anything new on another character, so let's say that you have a level 20 character, you have access to getting orange and all that stuff, and then you log in on your level 1 character and you get another one, but you don't really want anything for that character, then don't open with that one. Go over to the level 20 and open with that, because then at least you get some higher items. And when you get the higher items, whenever you go into salvage, those items will give you this dust up here. Like if I only got gray items, I would only get these materials, but I wouldn't get any of the dust. So that's why you, if it's not to get a better item for a lower character, just open with the highest character you have, because then you get more of these and orange and you'll get better crafting materials. Green and blue and orange also drop more of the scrap, if that makes sense. So alright, just to finish these ones in here. So reroll properties. Whenever you have an item, you can slot it in and then you can reroll the properties. Again, my mod makes me see what I have already and I can just instantly reroll. It costs 1 green, 1 blue. It always costs 1 green, 1 blue to reroll properties. Whenever you reroll the properties, they'll change. Let's see if I can find some item that doesn't really matter to me. Alright, let's see. Sure, I can reroll one of these. So, rerolling properties, I'll find that one. So if I reroll, I'll get 2 new random properties. In this case, I got push and block angle, I got 5 crit chance. Depending on what you're going for, what properties you want, you just keep rerolling, keep spending materials to get, you know, the one that you want. As you get more experience, as you level up and so on, you'll find out what works better for you. This is fine. I'll just keep that for now. Yeah, then there is the reroll trait. That means, in this case, I have Decanter. If I want one of the other traits, I reroll that. One of the things that I can recommend, especially in the beginning or if you're playing on the lower difficulties, is on necklaces, you are able to get something called Natural Bond. This is regeneration. Now, it does... The effect is that whenever you drink a healing potion or use a medikit on yourself, if you have this, you only get temp health, but you will constantly regenerate health. So if you are practicing dodging and blocking and you're not getting hit that much, this will just keep you healthy, which is nice. Others, if you have Natural Bond, others can heal you with a medikit and you get health. It's not going to go temp health. Let's see if there's anything else. Upgrade item, we talked about that. You can move up as long as you have the dust for it. So gray use green dust to become green, green use blue, blue use, and so on. You get red dust by, yes, you're right, salvaging, destroying red items. In the beginning, you're not going to do that a lot. But once you get a bunch of them, you're going to start doing it. Now, red items come with these blue glow, right? So every single item has specific blue glow somewhere on them, some more prominent than others. Anyway, if you craft an item and upgrade it all the way up to red, you will have the effect that whenever you reroll properties, they will be maximum. So they always roll max. You don't have to get like a 2.5% crit chance. It's always 5 crit chance. It's always 20% crit power. If those are the properties that you roll, it's always going to be max. However, if you have created an item and upgraded it all the way up to red, it's not going to have the glow. You need a naturally looted red item to get that glow. However, if you already have that version, like if I have a glaive, if I then created a glaive and upgraded it up to red because I wanted another one, I can then go in under illusions, and then in illusions I have every single glaive look that I have looted throughout my career in Vermintide. I have access to change the look on whatever I want, and they have names. This is the Cleaver of Fate. This is the Lothland's Woebringer. So right now this is Lothland's Woebringer, so if I wanted to change it, I would just slot it in there, hit apply, and that means that now looks like that, which would be this look instead of this look. So I'm definitely changing that back. But anyway, yeah, that's how it works. So just to recap, as you're leveling up, focus on power. Don't worry about properties and traits because you're going to replace the equipment anyway. Gear whatever highest power items you get, salvage everything else, and then use that salvage material to craft whatever weapon you are more comfortable with. So if you like dual daggers, then craft dual daggers. If you like the one-handed sword, or if you like longbow more than a short bow, then craft whatever weapon you play better with or that you prefer. Because some of the weapons feel very clunky to some people, and some weapons are just, weird. But definitely, another advice: try out every weapon. Give it a couple of missions. Try out every weapon, because some of them grow on you. Some of them will, you'll learn to love them. Others are just, no, never mind. As an example, I can tell you that for Sienna, I am a huge fan of the dagger. This one. Yeah, huge fan of the dagger. I like that it's very fast. I like that this burns them. I like that the second charge, this stab down, does massive damage, even to armored, especially if you hit them in the head. I like that the push stab actually gives you movement. So you can do this and use this to move faster. It's very versatile. It's very nice. It does, however, lack a bit of block. So you need to dodge more when you're using this weapon. And not rely on blocks too much. But it's nice, and this will hit an entire horde in front of you, this first charge attack, right? So I actually prefer the fire sword, because this just hits everything. First charge attack like this sets everything on fire. And I usually play the battle mage with the talent where everything burns with 150%. The reason it was over here is because I was explaining something at another time. But this is usually this 1, 2, 3, and then let's see. Yeah, that one. No, that's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is my setup on the battle wizard. Anyway, what I was talking about is some weapons I won't use. This, the mace, some people like it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't like the way that it feels when I play. I'm good at playing Sienna, but with this, I become a mediocre player because it just doesn't feel right the way that it plays. The Crowbill is really awesome when you want to deal with armored. It just destroys them. The attack pattern is a little bit like, so this hits hard armored and headshots. The second one, this and this, they actually don't cleave through and hit a lot. They stop whenever they hit something. So you can't just bash things back and stagger it and stun it and all that stuff. So you need to really dodge, block, push. You need to be much more active when using this one. But you are safer against armored. So it's a trade-off. A lot of people swear by this because it is just nice being able to beat the shit out of Chaos Warriors. Yeah. I still like the... this one I use. So one of the reasons that I don't use crit and crit power on this is because with this setup, as you can see, it's all about setting things on fire. And dots don't do critical damage. So what I need is being able to attack faster. And then whenever I'm in a little bit of trouble, I'll just reduce the block cost. So I'll do this. And then I'll just set everything on fire, push them away, set everything on fire. Alright, I think that's it. I am going to jump off and I'm going to wait for Casper. I think we are going to jump on and do a stream together in about 20-30 minutes. So enjoy your coffee and we'll be back soon. See ya.